Go ahead.
Okay, did you hear everything I just said?
Yeah, something ain't right here.
Yeah, and yeah, because why? Yeah, I mean it's understandable about Reggie, but Courtney just said, "Do you want to go to the hospital?" Yeah. Yeah, or like, why don't you want to go to the hospital? Something like that. I don't know, something. She should have offered to go to the hospital. Yeah, and they didn't even take Timogen until hours later. I mean, I'll get to that in a minute, but yeah. Yeah, so she just drove him home, and he wasn't in his right mind to say, I want to go to the hospital, for Tamsen and Timogen. So she drives him home, and then that's when Reggie called me and said they took Nigel. And I started crying my eyes out, of course, and now I'm scared about them coming for Timogen. I knew they would eventually, I just didn't know when. I figured I'd had some hours with him. I figured they wouldn't come that fast. I just wasn't sure, I didn't know. But now I really have to bond with him, because I know eventually they're going to get him. But it's more of this time for bonding. And that's what I did, because they didn't come for hours later anyway. Hours later. They didn't come out until hours later. But Reggie, after he got off the phone with me, there's a great distance. It was a hot summer day. This is June 24th. This is June. And it's hot outside. I mean, the sun is burning bright. And he doesn't have a car, and he doesn't have any way to get to the hospital fast. Maybe because of money or something. All he can do is walk. And there is miles in between. It took him hours. He walked in the hot sun for hours trying to get to us. That's all he could do. He didn't get there in time. They already took him before he got there. But when he got there, his shirt was soaked from all the sweat in the sun. And but anyway, I was bonding with Timogen as much as I could. And yeah, and some things happened. Also, I mean, I can go into that here in a little bit. Well, okay, I'll go ahead and talk about one thing important, I would say, that happened in between while he was walking. Or maybe this happened a little bit before. Yeah, I don't remember. The thing is, they had asked me early on that day, on June 24th, the staff had said, and I did not make a connection, even though CPS was involved. I did not make a connection. Oh yeah, by the way, CPS didn't even reach out to me. There's new allegations, but CPS, and they knew where I was, but none of them, not even Courtney, no one, none of them came to talk to me. They knew exactly where I was, but they didn't come talk to me. Exactly, yeah, especially if this is a new case. Because remember, the last one they said was closed. There's all of a sudden new allegations after I give birth, but you know, yeah, that's why the pregnancy from Salvation Army was important. I didn't say anything. They didn't say anything. Now all of a sudden there's a new case. All of a sudden I have a problem after Division 4. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but that's how they make it look. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, no one reaches out to me to ask questions. They go to Reggie, but not me. Yeah, and so, yeah, the staff had asked me, and I just assumed that maybe, because I'm in a different hospital giving birth, I thought maybe they had a policy that they can ask their newborn mothers if they want to talk to them. So they have this prestigious, say for instance, their mental health facility, their psychiatric facility is a very prestigious facility called Laureate. They are very prestigious, one of the best in the country for certain things, and they're very noble. So Laureate, so they said that they asked me if I would like to talk to someone from Laureate. And I figured maybe that was just their policy. Even though CPS was already involved, I did not make a connection. And so I figured they just asked all the newborn mothers. Because remember, I hadn't given birth there before. So I figured maybe their policy was just to ask all the newborn mothers if they want to talk to someone from Laureate. And now I didn't have a problem except for what was going on. And I figured, okay, I'll just go ahead and talk. I'm glad I did. Because Now I waited and waited all day for her. I mean, a lot of the day, many hours. And she finally came, the lady from Laureate. And it was just she wasn't in there that long. And remember, this is the trained professional out of the whole bunch. Because all the other medical staff, they're not so-called trained professionals. So this lady, you would think that her words would hold something. She just talked to me for just a little bit. I told her what was going on, that I was upset about it, that I was being, I don't think they had taken Nigel yet, I don't remember, but we were definitely being investigated. So I was talking about that, and she was asking about some of my history or whatever, and, and she did a quick assessment, like, who's the president? I said, Barack Obama. What year is it? I said, 2016. Yeah, that kind of thing. And so that was fine. And there wasn't any problem. The only thing I was offended by was that she left some literature behind for the facility, but that's probably just protocol. So I shouldn't be too offended by that. But they should have done more to help with the situation, but whatever. So anyway, yeah, her report was later in Discovery, and it wasn't that bad, and yet, oh yeah, it was in the hospital records too, and yet, yeah, it was in the hospital records, and yet, I mean, from the maternity ward, and yet, it wasn't that bad, and then they didn't care about that. All they could focus on was what the rest of the staff said when they're not even the professionals. I mean, the trained professionals for mental health. So anyway, so much for that. But anyway, well, so that occurred, and then but still the staff was just acting strange toward me throughout the day, and yet, yeah, I'm. Later they would claim that I was acting crazy, but keep in mind, they left me off and on that whole day for Timogen. They didn't have code red or whatever, nothing like that. No Baker Act, no whatever it's called. Well, California, they call it 5150. Here they have it's just easy to remember. Oklahoma has their own, all the states have their own code. Nothing like that. They didn't call any facility to come and get me. The Laureate lady was there. She didn't do anything. So if I'm that bad, why are you leaving me alone at any point in time with a newborn that cannot defend themselves? Yeah, that cannot defend himself. Yeah, so there's that. So I can't be that bad. You know I'm not. They know I'm not. So you have
they
that.
Come here again, I'm calling the FBI, man. I'm done fucking around with these people.
So in other words, you're hearing more and more, and you're getting even angrier, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm getting sick of this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
yeah,
they're coming after a disabled man. Well, how are you gonna throw a disabled man in jail for being unable to fucking make it to a hearing he shouldn't be attending? Because you shouldn't be going after him for what you're going after for because he's fucking disabled. Make it make sense.
Yeah. Exactly.
Another thing, how are you going to hold me in contempt for not coming to a hearing to tell you why I can't pay you when you're taking payment out of my money? Make it make sense. It don't make sense, bro. How are you going to act on me when you don't have jurisdiction? Make it make sense.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You go ahead.
Yeah? Okay, alright, hold on 1 second. Wait, hold on 1 second. Okay. Alright, so, and then...
Yeah, something's fishy here.
Yeah, so there's some... Say again?
Something's fishy there.
You mean the fact that they did not... Oh, well, that they left me alone. I mean, they later claim I was acting crazy. They were talking about the
right there,
about me not beating him.
That's the fishy part.
About me acting crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, and leaving me alone with an infant.
Motherfucker,
the day. Yeah.
Have somebody come try to steal your child and see if you don't act crazy.
Well, the thing is, they were saying that that's people. Why they were there because I was acting crazy.
These fucking people, man.
Okay, you heard what I said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's later they said that's why they took him away because I was already acting. That's why they were investigating. That it's not true. remember, the staff was treating me like I was a monster. Don't forget that.
Wow.
Because I needed a lot of extra help. Yeah. So, yeah, you got that. And plus, I have a history. Oh, yeah, that was another thing I left out. Here's where it's crucial, because when they first investigated at the Salvation Army, I forgot to tell you that when and I told you this before, actually, that when at the gazebo, another thing I told them, because I am a former state because I'm a former state foster child, they're going to have my record. So, okay, DHS. So, they know who I am. So, they probably know my history. And I didn't want them... Remember, there's a stigma that follows the misdiagnosis I had at the age of 14. And it is a misdiagnosis, and it's been on the record as a misdiagnosis, even at that point. And there's a stigma that follows you, though, especially when you're a parent. And I was always worried about that misdiagnosis. That way they can try to use it against me. Of course, that backfired, but doesn't matter. So that was part of the thing about them accusing me of being crazy, because they can make it look like the so-called schizophrenia, which is a misdiagnosis, by the way. But that's what I had at 14. That's what they said I had, which is a misdiagnosis. And they're just going to try to claim that it was acting up again. But essentially after I give birth, though. Whatever. Yeah.
It don't just go away like that, boss. My mom was schizophrenic. You're not schizophrenic.
Yeah, that's right.
I would know. I have friends who have schizophrenic issues.
Okay.
So they hear people and talk to people that ain't even there. I've never heard you do that.
Yeah, exactly. I had problems, but I don't deny that. Especially, they were bad enough to get me to a mental ward.
Everybody's got problems, yo, but...
Well, not the kind that get you in a mental ward. Nothing happens in a vacuum. There was a reason I'm in a mental ward, but it wasn't what they said it was. It was a misdiagnosis that I was having problems that were pretty bad. That's why I went to mental ward. You don't just get there for no reason.
I've been in a mental ward twice. That don't mean nothing.
Yeah. I know, but evidently there was something going on that was pretty serious. Doesn't mean that you're something you're not. No.
Right, it just means that I need to go seek help.
Yeah, imagine them using that against you, or if the mental ward got it
Why
wrong.
Wouldn't that be discrimination?
And then they used what they got wrong against you. Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of what happened here. They just use anything they can, you know that. So that's easy cheating, and they think they have the upper hand on that big time because that's so serious, the serious nature of that. Even though it's been proven as a misdiagnosis in my case. So, but they don't care. But they're going to make it look like I'm crazy. And that's why they were there to investigate me. Or maybe that's why I so-called wasn't taking care of Tamsen. My so-called schizophrenia was acting up. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm just gonna...
So, so the games they play.
I'm just gonna sue these motherfuckers, I think.
Okay.
I just can't believe that they took your kid away, okay? And then you're sitting here in this hospital that feels like it's like locked down, you know? I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. Like I said, me and Tamsen were bonding the whole day and everything. I was scared, but I knew I had to bond more with him. And it was fine as far as that, the bonding and everything. And then... now remember, Reggie's still on the way to the hospital, walking in the hot sun. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Miles and miles for hours and hours, yeah.
That's a hell of a man.
Yes, he is, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, and, so hours after they take Nigel away, it's about 4 o'clock, and it's a little bit after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Reggie's still on the way to the hospital, but me and Imogen are in there by ourselves. I have the TV on and that. Well, no, I guess the TV came on a little bit after this, in between this. What happened was, okay, the pediatric nurse that I talked about before that I had demonstrated, and I did not meet her till the 4th and final day, June 24th. That's when I first met her. Her name was Kaylee, by the way. Kaylee. And So she comes in there and saying that Timogen says about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, hours after they take Nigel away. Okay, so she comes in there saying that it's time for Timogen to be weighed. What they did was with the newborns, they take them down the hall to weigh them as a standard procedure. Now, sometimes, there was even one time with our stay there that, at least one time where they weighed Timogen in there, right next to me, in my room. But usually they take them down the hall. Now, I could have said, that I want him weighed in here like he did that one time. I could have said that. I didn't think that they would take him just down the hall. Out of there where they go to weigh him. I didn't think they would take him away. I figured I had more time. So I was like, okay. And she said, in fact, she even said, and she had a weird look on her face. She had this dreary look, so to say, and tone in her voice. And she was like, I just sit down. Nigel, sit down. No, down. You sit down. Come on. Sit down. Sit down. Come on. Sit down. No, sit down. Sit down. Okay, so she, she's like, the doctor not demands, but like, I forgot what she said exactly. Making it sound like there was no other way other than to be weighed down there. Like if I had tried to say, no, you need to weigh him in here, I wanted to stay with me. If I tried to say anything like that, that there would be a problem. And that there would have been a problem if I had said anything like that. But I wasn't even thinking about that at the time. But that was the vibe that she was giving off anyway. And like I said, she seemed almost bad. I don't know, something like that. It's not in good spirits, if that makes sense. So, but yeah. So she had to take him down the hall to be weighed. And I figured, okay, he's coming back, so CPS probably won't come until a little later. I don't think they'll take him now, not out of the hall, out of that place where they weigh the newborns. So she takes him down the hall. And by the way, I don't even think they weighed him because even on the hospital records or any record that I see, any discovery report or anything, I have never seen a weight from that time and date. So I don't even think they weighed him at all that time, to be honest. But anyway, they take him down there, and I'm waiting for him to come back. It's like I had the TV on at the time, I remember. I guess I turned it off when the she came in. So what happened was, so about moments later, just like a moment later, like a couple minutes or so, Courtney comes in there with 2 security guards, armed security guards, from the hospital. 2 armed hospital security guards.
Wow.
Stop! Hold on. No! Get in there!
I was gonna say, the CPS can't make their own private police force. But that's different.
Yeah, that was earlier. Yeah, well, these are just hospital security guards. Yeah. They were.
That's very strange.
That's what? Yeah, and all she was doing was. Remember, Timogen's not even in there with me, and Reggie's not there yet. There's just me in there. So she's got 2 armed security guards in the hospital. These are hospital security guards, St. Francis. And who they were an older man and an older woman. Kind of like they were like probably in their 50s or something like that. They were older, so that to be your parents almost. You would think of it as parents, but they were an older man and an older woman as hospital security guards. Huh?
Oh, nothing.
What?
That's interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are older people working as hospital security guards, yeah, so an older man and an older woman. Very well-mannered, I would say. Not like aggressive or anything. But they are armed. And she's not. Courtney's not armed, of course, and so she has them with her. And there's just me in there by myself. And anyways, she has paperwork. Now remember, when they grabbed Nigel, when she grabbed Nigel hours beforehand, there was no paperwork. Yeah, keep that in mind. Like I said, yeah, he said that's straight up kidnapping. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They acted like it was some kind of emergency, even though they waited a while before taking it.
That was
in the waiting room.
That was illegal.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, well, there's
that's
a lot to say.
kidnapping.
Well, it was Well, it was. We didn't have time for paperwork. We had to get Nigel away from Reggie. Was he starving him? He's dangerous.
Nah.
But yet, not dangerous enough to not have him in the waiting room. I know. The paperwork didn't come down until hours later when they did Imogen. That's what it was. Yeah, because get this.
That's
Courtney,
not a compelling state interest, bro. I've seen footage of him. Nah. Nigel and him. Yeah. I've seen footage of them both. They were fine.
I mean, together? Yeah. Yes, exactly, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. They all do. Yeah, they all do. Yeah. So, so Courtney, as her, so she has emergency court order. So remember, this is June 24th of 2016. Okay, she has, for both boys, for both of me and Reggie. Reggie's not even there yet, and she's got my paperwork and Reggie's paperwork, saying that we need to be in there, because remember, this is on a Friday.
Sounds like somebody trying to strip you of your rights.
Exactly, yes.
Oh, I gotta reset the tape. Go ahead. Okay, ready? Yeah, that sounds like somebody trying to fucking stop on your rights, man.
Exactly, yes. And so the 72-hour show cause hearing, which would be on Tuesday. Yeah, she's got emergency court order for both boys, for me and Reggie, saying that me and Reggie need to be in court in 72 hours, which would be on a Tuesday. Come to court following Tuesday. She's saying come to court following Tuesday. That's on the paper. Also, the emergency court orders for both the boys and for me and Reggie. So she is serving me. First of all, she's serving me someone else's paperwork. So why are you serving me Reggie's paperwork? Especially when later you would claim I'm crazy. Why are you serving someone that's so-called that may or may that's allegedly a crazy lady? Someone else's paperwork. First of all. Why are you serving anyone else's paperwork? You shouldn't even be serving us paperwork. That's either that or that. Well, that's a separate issue. But yeah, so you're serving me someone else's paperwork. Yeah, and
it don't make no sense.
And you get emergency court orders for both the boys. You already took Nigel.
Wow.
Why didn't you have this when? Why did you wait so long to get Timogen? And why didn't you have this paperwork when you got Nigel?
They had some motherfucking balls.
Yeah, and that's probably why she didn't say. Yeah, I bet that's what she was working on.
You know what used to happen in the 16th century when people would do this type of shit?
That penalty?
You didn't have social welfare workers. You have people minding their own damn business.
Exactly. Yes. And and so that's probably what she was doing in between all those hours. Try to get the paperwork together because she left Nigel without any paperwork, and she doesn't grab Timogen. Nobody grabs Timogen. I'm not sure she's the one that grabbed Timogen. I don't know who grabbed Timogen. They took him down the hallway. They took him out of the room from down the hallway where they weigh newborns. So I don't know whether she grabbed him or someone else or one of the other workers grabbed him.
That is ridiculous.
And it wasn't. And it's nowhere in the records who grabbed him or discovery reports. So we don't know who grabbed him exactly. Someone did though. So she serves me the paperwork saying to come in. Me and Reggie need to come in.
This is after CPS has already released a previous case against you.
What you mean when they were investigating us at the Salvation Army?
Yeah.
Yeah, when she said the case was closed. Yeah, the letter that never came, although that would be like, well, I'll get to that in a little bit. There's something else about that letter. I'll get to that in a little bit. Because that ties into the second case. You'll understand. Okay, so, and that's probably why she didn't offer to drive Reggie to the hospital.
There's some type of fraud going on here. I can smell it. Yeah,
well, the thing is, remember, it takes a while to get the emergency court orders. Down. The emergency court orders, that would probably take a good minute to get on those. So she's working on that. Oh, yeah, because her name, I'm pretty sure, was on that. If I remember right. The court order, you see her name somewhere on there, Courtney. So if she had to be involved with that paperwork, then she doesn't have time to drive Reggie to the hospital. No, she has to get on the paperwork. Paperwork's important. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the paperwork that she serves to me and someone else's paperwork, because they're not even there. But I'm crazy. Yeah, whatever. So there's that. Yeah. So driving Reggie to the hospital, I'm sure, would interfere with her work on the paperwork. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously what it was. I mean, or at least part of it. So, because like I said, they didn't rush in to get Timogen. None of them did. So you got that too. You have to consider that. So, okay, but when she came in to the room with the two security guards, I remember I see her come in. I mean, she comes into the room with the guards, and I hadn't seen her. Last time I'd seen her in person was when she looked me in the eye and told me the case was closed 2 months beforehand. About 2 months beforehand, but I recognized her, and I knew that she was involved anyway. So I was kind of expecting her, and I recognized her anyway. So she comes in. I say to her, Courtney, how can you allow this to happen? Actually, I said, how can you allow this to happen when she got in front of me with the guards nearby her? She was standing right in front of me with her paperwork. The paperwork. And I said, how can you allow this to happen? And she kind of shrugged her shoulders, like, with a look on her face, like that. And she just said, just come into court. You and Reggie just come into court on Tuesday. That's all she could say. She couldn't say why she allowed this to happen or anything. I mean, nothing like that. And then as she walked away, I remember I screamed at her. And I was just referring to, at the time, I was just referring to Timogen, because I said son singular. I was just referring to Timogen. I guess it was the mindset I was in at the time. And I screamed at her. I said, as she was walking away, I said, give me back my fucking son. I said, give me my fucking son. And she just kept walking, and then they get out of the hospital. They get out of there, and then but the guards actually. I don't remember exactly what happened at this point. But I know I think the door was closed, and then I opened the door, and the guards. I know the guards were standing together. The same guards I was talking about, an older man and older woman. I was screaming. I was still screaming as, like, Courtney was still walking down the hallway, I guess. And, and then there was a nurse there, that had been, like, working at the desk. I don't even know her name, but, that I was still screaming something, and then the nurse was like that, trying to silence me. And I even said to the nurse, and I say this in front of the security guards, I said, I'll bet you all were planning this. I bet you all knew they were coming. And she said, no, we have no way of knowing that ahead of time. That's what the nurse said. The nurse that was like at the desk. I don't even know who this nurse was. But anyways, so that was obviously a lie. I mean, they all know what's going on, of course. So then she went away, and then
they have to know. They have to mandatorily report and shit. They have to know.
Well, I mean, I think they. I don't know that she was involved exactly, but they have to know that when the social services is coming, I think they all are on alert of some kind, like that, notified. And they just won't admit to it, of course. Yeah. I mean, because they have to know who's on the ward. So yeah, yeah. And plus, people with badges. I mean, of course, you're gonna know when they're coming in. Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, it's obvious. So then, and then she went away, and then the two security guards were still there. They were actually being very kind still, and they even said to me that one of them, I was so upset, and then the male guard said that, he's gone. There was nothing I could do, because, they already took Timogen. And I don't know exactly how they know that. They probably already took him ahead of time, but even before Courtney got in there with them. So maybe it was just a different worker. But but the two security guards, they were talking to me. They knew I just had a C-section also. Yeah, I didn't even question that at the time. Like, how do you know that? So obviously they were informed about some stuff. But yeah, the male security guard, he said that they had seen this happen in their hospital a whole bunch of times. So there's some eyewitness there, I guess. and eyewitness testimony. And then yeah, they were like, you just had a C-section. You don't need to be under a lot of stress. I mean, you need to be laying down. They even offered to walk me back to my bed, and I allowed that. They were very nourishing. I mean, whatever you call it. Very well-natured on that. And they walked me back to my bed. Everything was fine. Although later I see discovery reports that were falsified by Courtney. Get this. This was after the second time, and I think you'll make a connection here. It's obvious what they're doing here to make me look like there's some kind of pattern, because I was restrained by 2 deputies when they took me when they took the kids the second time. Well, after the second time, we got some discovery reports, even connecting to 2016 that we hadn't seen in 2016. And in those discovery reports, obviously it was falsified by Courtney. It said that those 2 security guards had to take me to my bed and restrain me because I was acting out, which is a total lie. They walked me back to the bed very calm, in a calm manner, as calm as I could be, especially for that situation.
Badge on his chest, palms on the cash, talking about honor while he's skimming from the stash, preaching comply as he breaks his own law. Badge on his chest, palms on the cash, talking about honor while he's skimming from the stash, preaching comply as he breaks his own law. Judge in the chamber, Bible on the shelf, speaks about truth while he's lying to himself, smiles on the spotlight, justice in quotes, send this kid while he's fixing his votes. Hiding in plain sight, hypocrite hands in the dark of the night, all that talk about order and pride. Now the mask come off, nothing left to hide. We see the deals, we see the spin, you can't wash off the dirt on your skin. The whole town's watching as your alibis drop. Hypocrite cops, crooked courts getting caught. What a win, ticker for the poor, handshake for the rich, same crime, different time, courtroom glitch, heard the gavel fall like a sales bell ring, price on freedom, that's a terrible thing. Screens start rolling, some pressing, same old story, but this time it trends. Whispers in the hallway, names in the feed, secret you bear, growing roots like a weed. Hiding in plain sight, hypocrite hands in the dark of the night, all that talk about order and pride. Now the mask come off, nothing left to hide. We see the deals, we see the spin, you can't wash off the dirt on your skin. The whole town's watching as your alibis drop. Hypocrite cops, crooked courts getting caught. Yeah, you can swear on the stand, you can swear on your flag, but the truth doesn't bend for a robe or a badge. When the lies hit the light, they crack, they rot. You built that tower, now watch it drop, watch it drop, watch it drop, watch it drop.
Sticking it to him like a tarantula, dropping over top of Canada or South Africa. This is gargantuan when I gotta go and hit him up in the scapula. With a spatula, I keep it darker than Dracula. Attacking you, taking it to your trachea, better flee the area. Or some nefarious American may bury you under a barrier in a secluded area. After shooting you with a Behringer and impairing you, do what I gotta do, and I gotta go hit him up in the medulla. I ain't gonna get a pro rata, I'm gonna take a mockery of the idol. I gotta be going and ripping them, I'm gonna end up remembering, taking a break and putting my legs on the ottoman, wrapping this up like taffeta, like I'm quicker than the I'd have been there. Out here to get all of your cheddar, even on Ramadan, and even the veteran medicine. So I was sent into the Temple of Solomon. They even took the Excedrin and pseudoephedrine, and I'm ready to level them from meddling. I'm not buying whatever they're peddling, while they're acting devilish and relishing and embellishing, being hellish and being selfish and being jealous. But I gotta be going and doing them all over the fella whenever I put them up in the shredder. I gotta put them up in the whirlwind, and having them swirling and twirling and hurling, having them feeling it for they double dealing and stealing, and it'll be unappealing when I send them through the ceiling. They will be forever weathered and under the weather like Mayweather. Whether they know it or not, I can never get the illness to stop with these militant thoughts. I just happen to be the illest, killing it, drilling it. You know I gotta go and hit them with a stamina on camera and leave them inanimate, and having them in famine for demanding and going and underhanding. I'm having them examined for having Havana syndrome, and then I was simply sitting with a sinner of the Sahara with sand and the schlera, having them suffering a second suffer for staring. I will be impairing on them rising and they're despising, and that's why they're synthesizing. But I'm surmising it'll be surprising when I'm having a meeting their demise and reveal every one of their lies. And specialists with the temperament, taking the tenets and then taking them into the tenements and reading the testaments and teach them the tenets so they can fight the system of senselessness that seems to be endless. With an endlessness that delegates and delicate, I will turn the skeletons into gelatin in the form of a pelican and melt through the melanin. For the insult to my intelligence, it will be irrelevant. They have no evidence of anything but my preeminence, casting puffing up their presentments for being pretentious with a pretentiousness, trying to have you affixed on unpleasantness, asphyxiate their essences and leave them directionless for being contentious with a contentiousness. These pitiful perfectionists, they are not a president for their neglectfulness and gross negligence. They will face carcinogenesis. I will never relent like a mystician's apprentice and apprentice. Nevertheless, never written that and transcend dimensions and dimensions until they get the impression and get to stressing and second guessing, teleporting them to Memphis, cleaning them up like a dentist, raining them upon the parade like Dennis the Menace. When I send them to Venice, what I said is momentous. I'm my goodness and my menace and my momentum is endless. When I issue the sentence, it'll have them seeking for repentance after playing them like a game of tennis. The lemons and the Legos are legless allegedly, so the legend says, and so I'm leaving them with an impediment to the detriment, with no medicants for the treason, with the relentless recklessness and making it credulous for the decadence and worshipping an edifice of malevolence while I'm gathering the evidence. Having them slithering like Severus, attacking accurate as Legolas, sending an arrow into the head through the megalith. There's excellence with an eminence, with an elegance, with these elements, with an eloquence, placing an emphasis to emphasize my estimate to the excellence and excrements, having them fleeing like Exodus. Quite the menace, this the genesis when I send this pestilence into that which will be nebulous, with the negligence flying off into the sunset like a Pegasus, having them swinging like a pendulums for the petulance when I'm taking precedence and the petulance of regiments and registrants, leaving them in remnants, for they did not fulfill the requisites and prerequisites they need to bring me something that is resonant, so I can perform my resonance measurements and not be so restless, full of restlessness. It'll be impressive when I get the gizzard. I will place them within the middle of a whirlwind in the winter like a blizzard, and then scissor them into snippets like a skizzer until they will whip them with this ripping and rips and sitting, sudden the rippets and switching their liquids. Until they were ripping and rips and sitting the rippets and switching their liquids.
Badge on his chest, palms on the cash, talking about I know why he's skimming from the stash. Preaching comply as he breaks his own law. Body came off when he's breaking your jaw. Judge in the chamber, Bible on the shelf, speaks about truth while he's lying to himself. Smiles in the spotlight, justice in quotes, sentences kids while he's fixing his vote. Hiding in plain sight, hypocrite hands in the dark of the night. All that talk about or in pride, the mask come off, nothing left to hide. We see the deals, we see the spin. You can't wash off the dirt on your skin. Whole town's watching as your alibis drop. Hypocrite cops, crooked courts getting caught. Ticket for the poor, handshake for the rich. Same crime, different time, courtroom glitch. Heard the gavel fall like a sales bell ring. Price on freedom, that's a terrible thing. Screens start rolling, someone press send. Same old story, but this time it trends. Whispers in the hallway, names in the feed. Secrets you bury, growing roots like a weed. Hiding in plain sight, hypocrite hands in the dark, but their hands up in the knock. Just look at the clip, they just whisper the hobby with fixed in the page, and it sits waxy up in the flag, but the truth doesn't bend for a robe or a badge. When the lies at the light, they crack, they rot. You built that tower, now watch it drop. Drop, watch it drop, 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 drop. Hypocrite hands in the dark of the night. All that talk about order and pride, now the mask come off, nothing left to hide. We see the deals, we see the spin. You can't wash off that dirt on your skin. Hotel towns and as your alibis drop. Hypocrite cops, crooked courts getting caught. Yeah. You can swear on the stand, you can swear on your flag, but the truth doesn't bend for a robe or a badge. When the lies hit the light, they crack, they rot. You built that tower, now watch it drop. Watch it drop.
Yeah.
Watch it drop. Watch it drop.
Cause the lyrical hypocrites sit here like cynics and feeders, good gimmicks, sick and sadistic, masochistic. They ask for this catastrophe for being blasphemous and treacherous, lecherous and rich and lecherous, and they are impetuous, insidious and disingenuous. I'm here to facilitate the severance with the reverence and send them to their destiny like Severus. Check the reference, I'm too dexterous with the temperance, giving them no deference, having and having no defense. So this is incredulous, having hydrocephalus, a bunch of degenerates trying to threaten us until they get hit with a double-decker bus to try and discredit. That surely you jest, I am forever blessed and leaving no stressed until they second guess. Nevertheless, I will put them to the test when I hit them from the darkness at their apartment with expelliarments and armaments for making them target. Come with the aim of Artemis, but trying to murder a martyrus. They will get tossed into the dark abyss. Something is amiss, but I will make it clear as crystal and visceral, master of the metaphysical, remaining invisible to these individuals with a residual visual, so they can skip your rituals. These are criminals that are punishable as a principle for thinking they were invincible. It was pitiful to have to put them in the pits to get bitten by sick pit bulls for being imbeciles, which isn't permissible. These insidious incels are infidels. I'm here to excel at sending them to hell on earth and sticking them in cells for collecting incel. I send a missile for the dismissal. You gotta be risen me. I will keep them in misery with an efficiency, and it will be sizzling when I'm blowing the whistle on it. Swindling, they are just a facsimile of the artificial, so they're not even original. They're not even judicial. Furthermore, not even official. So this is also prejudicial, and this isn't just a civil matter. So they better be holding their bladder and get rid of the chitter chatter before I get out the cloak and dagger, tap into the tapestry of rapping and combat them with the cataract. My fist in their face will be like when magnets psycho in the trash. It's compacted, having them backflip like acrobatics, and then breaking their back, fill them with apprehension when they fenced in for sentencing, stenciled in pencil. Not to mention that the dentist is standing in the entrance. I stand in a stance, enhanced the warrior. I am primordial, morbidly orbiting these mortals and sending them through portals for being immoral, flexing this misdirection, and then change their complexion when I'm flexing, descend over their jurisdiction like an affection of some sort of exorcism. I leave them in a schism. My head, all I can take of the scheme of this regime is totally totalitarian. Do I look like a Batarian? Look, it is imperative that you not label me a terrorist, or I will smack them back with impacts like nothing when I'm striking like lightning. It'll be quite exciting and frightening when my grip on these forcing these criminals is tightening, copping up at their lobby like an oddity, auditing like an anomaly. They will not be stopping me even with a SWAT team. Even them frozen as Snowden like Edward Snowden. Doctors don't compending them with impending them with the compendium, looming over them in their bedroom and then harpooning them. Reader is imminent in my immediate vicinity. For any enemy, I will end them with an infinite energy. It's like these courts are trying to kill me like Kennedy, just for providing a remedy from these kidnappers. I demoralize them mentally. I'm here to disincentive as a preventative measure at my leisure, like an ascendant searching for his descendant, who definitely isn't a defendant or a dependent, but is independent from the House and the Senate. Sentence is for violating my 4th Amendment right to be secure against unreasonable searches and seizures. You geezers, I won't have you coughing, you're wheezing, deceiving. For deceiving, you will be receiving a beating with receipts and cleats. They already does. I'm an alien, so take me to your leaders when I'm in a hurry and I'm in a fury. They going to need to be hurrying before they meet a flurry of shortage, and shortly they rule out in a jury with a